And then, of course, articulation issues can cause the excessive collapsing or deletion of syllables, especially in younger children. You want to not confuse the deletion of syllables with a phonological process such as final consonant deletion. If you were trying to differentiate, is this a final consonant deletion or is it cluttering, one of the things you would do is look for consistency. And again, cluttering doesn't tend to occur in all contexts, and it tends to occur when the speaker is speaking at a rate that's faster than their system can handle. So if they speak quickly, sometimes you may hear or have the impression that syllables or sounds are deleted. It probably won't always be in the final position, so you won't have that consistency there. Whereas if you had someone with final consonant deletion, you will see the consistency of the pattern that they're doing across the board because it's not a matter of rate. Also, a thing to help with differential diagnosis is to test the client and have them speak at a slower rate. And if a lot of these symptoms normalize, you're more likely to be dealing with cluttering. In my report, I will actually put that the following is the definition of cluttering, and I will put that LCD definition that you have at the beginning of your slides. And then I will break it apart and say, okay, in today's evaluation, we examined each of the criteria. The first, mandatory for the diagnosis of cluttering, was the rapid or irregular rate, perceived rapid or irregular rate. And what I would have said somewhere in the report, and it just depends upon where you're comfortable, but probably prior to this I would have said that I gathered some language samples in all of these areas: conversation, narrative, and expository speaking, those different contexts. And for our example here, I've used the client with the pseudonym Ray. And what I put is that in all three of those contexts, Ray did exhibit irregularity of speech. He had inconsistent bursts of rapid speech. And this was especially observed in speaking contexts where he demonstrated high interest in the topic. Rapid bursts of speech resulted in decreased intelligibility of speech. Again, that would be mandatory. There has to be some communication breakdown as a result of the rapid rate of speech. Then I would state that the first criterion, the mandatory criterion for cluttering, has been met. Now you've laid the foundations and your client understands how reasons that others may not understand their speech. They understand how they can look for feedback from the listener. They can take that feedback and problem solve. Okay, what probably happened? What can I do about it so that speech is clear? And then all those different strategies that they're using to clarify their speech, pausing, emphasizing their sounds and syllables, maintaining a steady volume, all of those things they've practiced in structured context. Now you're moving to the phase where you need to think about carryover, and as we mentioned at the outset, this is often the hardest part. So what I like to teach clients is the best way or some strategies so that they can work on self-monitoring and self-regulation for carryover. If we know that if we consider the hypothesis that clients are speaking at a rate that's faster than their system can handle, then that's really what they need to manage. That's what they need to be able to self-regulate.